Recording in progress. All
Indeed.
right. Good morning. So here we are with teacher Mr. K, and this is Mr. S. This is the pre-observation meeting. So we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm looking at the learning objective. Students communicating lab results, connecting observations to cell structure and function through writing. Um, what does that look like when they absolutely get it?
What it looks like when they absolutely get it is it's direct, it's to the point, it's research based, it is detailed and focused and is clear to read because they have time to edit.
Okay. Let's see. Let's looking at the lesson, looking at the design. So why these is there a reason for the three specific reflexes, the Achilles, bicep, and patellar versus others?
Yeah. It's simple pragmatism. They're relatively new to the field of anatomy, and a lot of reflex tests are done in medical gowns and stuff like that, and reveal a lot of skin. These ones are ones that are not gonna raise their hackles too much. Um, and are relatively easy to clean up from. They're really relatively easy to make happen because some of them are more difficult to find than others to work through.
All right. Okay, good. All right, so about a little bit about the class. What are their strength? Do they have are there strengths for doing their hands-on labs and when they have to write it all up?
Well, I would say it's a pretty well balanced class actually. I have students in there who maybe are struggling in an honors anatomy and physiology course, and I have students who, if we offered an AP anatomy and physiology, would be quite at home there. I have many who are interested in pursuing nursing, and many who are in there because they're afraid of taking physics. Um, so what I'd say is I have a wide variety of skills. And some students are really math based, some students are really written based, and that's why it makes sense to have a wide variety of ways for them to look at any given problem like a lab where taking some notes, then watching some videos, then trying it out on friends, then evaluating their performance, then relating it back to stuff we've already covered in the class.
Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm focusing on the lesson here. So you mentioned like you have some time extensions and some accommodations in the plan, some environmental accommodations. Are those for specific students or are those blanket to cover anybody? Do they typically need those?
Okay, so typically the students don't need those, but I allow them in there for anyone. Though I do have several students in that class who are on IEPs and 504s that demand time extensions and uh small group work and individualized instruction and chunking and all that stuff, which is
Okay.
why it's a good idea to do these smaller tasks like individual reflex tests because one at a time they're relatively straightforward.
Okay. So I'm going to assume your students are probably pretty comfortable doing independent research because I see that's a big part of the lesson.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say in general that they are. It's something that we do every week. They always have independent research, and on every lab, there's always some question that they have to relate to a deeper topic in life sciences. Like this one was related to the evolutionary scenario for how reflexes maybe maybe they wouldn't be adaptive at times.
Mhm.
So they had to consider how they are useful, but sometimes can co-opt the action that would be safest for you and others.
Okay. Um, so back to do you have a lot of different pieces? You've got lecture, video, there's a hands-on testing part, independent research, and writing. Is there a reason to that structure?
Well, yeah, on Thursdays and Wednesdays at our school are block days. They have an hour and a half to do things. Um, and reflexes are useful enough that they fill more than an hour, and they're difficult enough to test that it fills more than an hour. And so for an hour and a half, though, they need some individual independent opportunities as well.
Okay. All right. Okay. So about the jump from everyone doing reflex tests together to suddenly working independently on research questions. Is there an expectation of students to be able to do that on their own at some point?
Um, Well, it's a structure that we do very often, and because it's a first year anatomy course, certain things take longer than others with certain students. So it often requires assistance from me or students who are already getting done with to help other students get done with the particular tasks. So having the research topics available, it's a useful structure for students who are finishing early to get into. And if students are taking a little bit longer, it gives them something to work on, and but they can work on it independently if it flows into homework.
Okay. Let's see. So the essential question in this lesson, you're looking at reflexes and homeostasis. Um, where is that connection being made? Is it during the hands-on part, the research part, or a mix in there? Some.
It's a mix of both. So homeostasis is one of just a few core ideas that anatomy and physiology focuses on homeostasis, the use of energy, and evolution, are the topics that really sort of govern everything about anatomy and physiology. So reflexes are mostly about maintaining safety in the physical space to our environment, both within our, what we're experiencing inside ourselves and outside ourselves. So it's a core concept that we've dealt with extensively throughout the year. So this is an opportunity for them to observe a homeostatic mechanism in action, and then to relate it back to their notes and their research throughout the year.
Okay. Um, so let's get to the CSTPs. So, and looking at the six CSTPs, planning instruction, engaging students, assessment, and then the others. So what feels the most relevant with your lesson here?
I think planning instruction to meet individual students' needs. I think it's 4.4.
Yes, yes, you are correct. Wow, you know your CSTPs. Okay. All right. So, if we do focus on 4.4 and planning for diverse learners, what specifically do you want? What should I be what should I be paying attention to? Like, what would you tell? Um, let's see, how do I say that? What would you say? Yeah, that worked versus, ooh, that wasn't quite it.
Well, if by the end, no matter who they are in my class, they've had the opportunity to explore reflexes and discuss their relationship to homeostasis. So we've got a variety of different modalities built into the lesson structure. Um, we've got whole group instruction. done for visual learners and auditory learners. We've got watching videos in case they want to look at it more than once if they're more focused visually. We've got doing the reflex tests for our more kinesthetic learners. We've got small group modalities built in because they're working together for some interpersonal relationships. And they have the chance to look back at some of their previous experiences in biology class to compare reflexes and homeostasis to an evolutionary need.
Okay. So in the lab write-up in the Google Classroom response, are they going to be doing those in class or doing that for homework? And um, when would be a good time for us to look at those together?
Well, in all honesty, it really depends on the student. It depends on their timing and how long it takes for them to go through the material and to finish their research, because their research in the lab is what's going to ground their specific examples within their Google Classroom response, their claim evidence reasoning response. That's the model that we use
Mhm.
more often than not. They have to answer the question, they have to provide evidence from either their observations or independent research, and then they have to explain how the evidence relates to their answer.
Okay.
Um, so that for some students that's very fast. For some students that takes a little while. So I've already got plenty of responses that we could evaluate at any point.
Okay. Um, so are there any things in particular I should be tracking or just general observation, do you think?
Um, I would say observe that the class is able to, despite the differences amongst the students and their unique learnings, that they're able to function together as an entity to get through this together. Because
Okay.
again, it is a weird and different thing in anatomy and physiology that we're using each other as subjects.
Okay. All right. Um, I guess lastly, is there anything else I should know before observing? And is there a context that would help me understand what I'm viewing?
Um, just understand that when we are talking about homeostasis in the class, and reflexes, it's part of a broader topic that we're already well into the middle of it. This is not a like reflexes are not a standalone content or concept. They are part of the study of the nervous system, which is part of the study of the whole organism. And homeostasis is the lens we've been looking at every organ system through.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I think we are ready for the observation now. All right. Well, I will see you on that Thursday.
Cool.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.